Okay, let's go to the Getty. You hear a little noise in the background. That's the last videos that are processing through. Corey will get mad at me, but I've got some time, so let's do a video. Uh, I am at elevator 4 again. Pretty cool. So I always park in the same place. Let's go to the library. This is the library. Isn't this incredible? Look at all these books. If my old teachers knew from grammar school that today I just study for fun, they'd freak out. They would just totally freak out. So here's me studying. This is my bag. And they've got these amazing tables. And you can just sit there and put your headphones on and study. Okay? So here's a drawing. And look at this. These are all photos. And these are all these wonderful books. And it's like Michelangelo slept here. I mean, it's like these old books, and you just hold them and you just cherish them. You got that. And this is what it looks like. This is my life. This is my golf. This is my wild, wild time. This is where, guys my age, they're like have midlife crises and they do crazy, wild things. This is my I never had a midlife crisis because I've been just happy my whole life. But look at this. Look at these books. Unbelievable. When you just open them up and study. Look at this. These are all Raphael right here. See those? That's all different versions. Raphael, his drawings. See, there it is. There's Raphael. So cool. Number 4. And here we go. So let's try to find one that's fun. Let's just kind of move through it kind of fast. Let's see. What would be good? We don't have a lot of time. This is a good one. We can do this. Yeah. Let's see. Look at this. You can see the cross contours. See? So, you think it's crosshatch. So, you're in school and the teacher's, today we're going to do crosshatch. No, 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 no. Stop, stop, stop. Cross contours, wrap around, feel the form. And that's what's happening here. See? You can really feel the form. Oh, we can do this one. Let's do it. Okay, so we're going to start with this. Here is our Getty paper. We know it's Getty paper. You want to know how we know? Because it says Getty on it. You see right there, it says Getty. So that was the first drawing I did a long time ago. And then here's the other one that I did a long time ago. You can see it's got all these cross contours, you see? Okay, so we've got that. And this was the one we did in our intro, good old Rubens. And now we're going to go Raphael. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out, and we're going to do it totally different. And that's the whole idea, is that we're not trying to copy. So we're going to use Pan Pastel. Okay. And this is the ghost. And Corey will get mad at me because it's processing in the background, but it's rare when you can find the time. Right now I have the time. So I did get a case in since we did the last our last video, which was just a couple hours ago. So we get this done, and then I got to move on and work on a case. I'm going to move the head this way a little bit. So gesture is the story. Okay, it is not a drawing. You don't do a gesture drawing. You do a story, and that story is called gesture. Okay, so in this case, it's somebody from the Renaissance, and he's very excited because they're delivering the Coca-Cola. They've been out of Coca-Cola for almost a week now, and that's tough because I worked with all these old guys, and they did not do well unless they had regular classic Coca-Cola. Pepsi was fine. They did okay. Mona Lisa didn't mind. She kind of liked the root beer, which was kind of funny. But Michelangelo, he was classic, so he liked classic Coca-Cola. And some of them were kind of weird, like So they would drink stuff like Dr. Pepper. Only strange people drink Dr. Pepper. So that was some of them. I was a Coca-Cola guy, and so that was my world. And so this is them waiting, and he's got his arm out here. Boom. So he's pretty much silhouetting in close. We could change that though. How about this? And he's pointing, so we're going to go like that, and he's pointing. He's saying, "Hey guys, the Coke's coming. It's on its way." So there you go. So now we just change the gesture. So this has to come around this way. So we're going to go like this, and then the head will break that plane, and that'll give action. Okay, so that works. And that'll be on the other side. Okay, so that's fun. So we have that. And then you got to be thinking of cool bitchin' and wave. So we're going to go this way and this way. And then once we get down here, come around. And then we'll come down here, cool bitchin' wave. 3 + 1. That we come this way. Here we go. And it's coming this way. So now we've got some action happening. And then this arm, you can scapula here. I want to show that pelvis. This is where you stop and think, and that's what gesture is. Gesture is story. All right, we'll just bring it down like that. Okay, so we've got that. We can take this and just see, and that's action. Ooh, that's fun. There's red in there. There we go. Cool. You see, when you put it down, it's got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So what's going to happen is you'll get to a point where no matter what you do, it's always going to have that cool bitchin' wave 3 + 1. Those are all pro tips, okay? That's how you get the action in your drawing. I used to draw, people would walk around, there was a sketch group, and they would go, I'm not feeling it today. I just laugh to myself, I mean, could you imagine having a doctor coming out and let's say you have a surgeon and the surgeon comes out and they've just done surgery on your loved one and you go, "How'd it go?" And they go, "I wasn't feeling it today." And they go, "What?" You say, "What?" "It's my loved one in there." And they go, "What do you mean?" I say, "Well, I had a bad day, okay? Leave me alone. Get off my back, okay? I had a bad day." You go, "But that's our loved one. Are they okay?" "No, I told you I had a bad day." But that was our life, our loved ones. Say, "You got other loved ones. Leave me alone. I had a bad day." You're not allowed to do that. When it's time to sit down and get to work, you got to be able to get to work. So you need to have just that 20%, 25% of the whole drawing world that nobody's ever mastered, right? Just that 20% will allow you to always, to get your job done. And it works. It's pretty cool. Okay, so he's looking this way, okay? So if you notice, this is boring because it's all going straight. So let's change it. Let's have him looking the other way. Let's look at glare. I got glare. Everybody hold your eyes. I'm going to stand up. Here we go. Turn off this light. Boom. Okay, there we go. Okay. You guys see me? Okay, good. So now here's the base of the neck, base of the head. This is where your trapezius is going to go. So here, cervical vertebrae number 7. You know that because you studied it. So C7, and we're going to come around this way. And we're going to get into the T area, thoracic, not thoracic, thoracic. Okay, vertebrae here. Okay, this will be the thoracic arch on the other side. Okay, and then we're going to come down here, and that's going to take us into L, lumbar. Cervical, thoracic, lumbar, to the sacrum, those 2 little dots. Okay, this is going up and this is going down. Okay, the next landmark will be your let's see, acromion process here, where the scapula meets the clavicle. Right, the arm's going down, so it's straight. Okay. And then this arm is going up. So I'm going to make this up. So I got this arm going this way. And that's the deltoid. The neck is going to come in here. It's going to stop right at that acromion process. Right there. And you're going to get a straight line. How do you know that? Because you studied it. So I love anatomy. I study it for fun. So we had a student at the school, and her dad was an anesthesiologist, and he was, he worked for a good friend of mine who's a surgeon, who's a back surgeon, and he kept asking me, this girl's dad, where did you study anatomy? And I said, well, I studied it. He goes, but where did you, what do you do? I said, well, I use it. I use it in the courtroom. Do you testify? No, they do. But I use it and I give them all the information and they use it. I see it moving. And he kept asking me, well, where did you learn anatomy? Where did you learn anatomy? And I set him up. And he goes, but where did you go to school to learn anatomy? And I said, your friend gave me his medical books. And right there on my shelf, there is a stack of medical books. I don't go deep into it. I'm not a surgeon. But you never know. And then I'll take it down and see. But the anatomy books, those are beautiful. So right above here, I'm looking, there's just, oh man, there's just so many books. There's just, Atlas of Anatomy, Clinical Oriented Anatomy, Human Brain, that's a tough one. Oh, this is the Medical Legal Guide to Death. Oh my God, that's brutal. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's Stedman's Medical Dictionary, another one. We got Netter, got Gray's. It's just dozens of anatomy books. And that's just over here. I mean, I got another one's over there. So, I don't know. Study it. Now, when I teach it to you, I'm only going to teach it to you. It's just like 3 muscles on the back. Do you really only need 3 muscles on the back? Yes. You need 3. You have 1, 2, 3, and then 2 on the scapula. That's it. So I'll break it down to the ones you need, but I study them because I use them. I'm reading doctors' reports, so they like to really get in there and play. All right, so if you look, you'll see these cross contours. So even if we're doing a tonal thing, which this will probably be, you're using the cross contours to tell you the story. Okay, I got that. Latissimus dorsi. I'm just going to come over here, come around, it goes up to your arm. And then the scapula, he's got it down, his is more relaxed. Ours is going to be poked way far out because it's going to be floating because it's being pulled this way. Okay, and I'm going to put an ear over here and an ear over here. I usually give them ponytails, kind of tells you what direction they're going. But I've got to get this head right. So this will be the chin. That's your xiphoid process, the end of your sternum. So if we come up, that's where the head is up here. You can measure. So we can get into some of the questions I've heard people say, are you ever afraid of doing a bad drawing? Yeah. Am I afraid of doing a bad drawing? No, not really. I don't have a fear of it. I just say I fucked up. Do it again. You're allowed to say that. So here we go. Boom. Do it again. Okay. So now it's going this way, but do you do bad drawings? Yeah. How often? More than I do good drawings. Okay, go. I gotta make this fit, so let's go. It's not like this. It's kind of weird. It's like a gang person. Now, if I was planning on doing that on the initial lay-in, I would have moved him over. So, is that an excuse? Yeah, it's an excuse. Okay, so here we go. I'm coming this way. My teacher, we're going to get a lot into Eddie Rayberg in this series because every time, I say something, I can hear his voice. He did not allow me to give excuses. Wasn't allowed to. That doesn't mean I didn't. I have very creative excuses. So, but I wasn't allowed to. So, whenever I do an excuse now, I always hear his voice. But he wouldn't accept it. There we go. So we got this really composition going right here. So you got this escalator here, the elevator here. See how many times I come down on top of that one line. You're really feeling it. And there's your cross contours. See, you're just naturally feeling them. See them right there? See these? It's not cross hatching, it's cross contours. You kind of need to know what you're cross contouring. I mean, you could walk around, in LA, there's a lot of places. There's the beaches, there's the pools, and you could walk around and run your fingers over people who have nice cross contours. You'll probably get in trouble, but for me, I'm a professional. I do it for a living, so usually only stay arrested for so long because I say I'm a professional. I feel things for a living. Oh, okay. So, but that's what you're doing. You're literally just walking over the forms. But that's kind of help to know what they are. Here's the gluteus medius here, and gluteus maximus. Little bump from the gluteal band. This is coming towards me, so we tuck this in like that. You see it? We're tucking it in. Boom. Tucking in is a Vilpu term. I used to always use it, and I was sharing an office with a genius named Steve Hickner in the studio, and so one day he did a drawing of a mussel tucked in to bed at night. It was really funny. I still have it on my shelf. So I saved everything. I was so happy to be working in the studios that I just saved everything. And anytime somebody got something that was cool, they had to make 2 copies. So I have lots of stuff. I study it all the time. So this is curved. Let's put a straight line here. So we've got to have a flat ass on that side. So we're going to go round and we'll do like a nice little, that's kind of fun. And that's an STD, scientific trajectory distribution system here. So we have an STD here, we have one here, and we have one here. So it goes boom, 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 boom. You know, it's fun. Or this way and that way. So it goes one, and it goes this way, and it goes this way, and it goes here and here. So I got that nice sharp point there, which will give the attention to the booty. So go there. Okay. And then we have this curve. So like that. And then I'm gonna come and just pull this. Feels so good. And don't forget you have to be able to draw hands. So this was coming around. So that would be your it would be your extender, carpi, radius, also supinator. No. Box shape. Group fingers. And then I won't do another video today, so I can let these move over. Corey's a genius. If anybody doesn't know, Corey's an absolute genius. So he's put together a system. So I just do the video and it just works its way through. It's pretty cool. All right, so let's do some shadows. So here we go. Light's going to come this way. I have a lecture I did in college I really enjoyed. It's called Corecast Mountain. And what was happening is the person, which was me with my afro, had a giant afro, and I'm skiing down a naked woman's body. So stupidly funny. Okay, so we're going to come here, come down. Okay, and then I'm going to cast a shadow. So that's right there, man. That's where people, my kids, they work hard. They're always tight inside, and when they work, so they always get this knot right here. So I have to really kind of get it out, because it's where the trapezius comes down to the acromion, and then it comes and it turns on itself. And you get that knot, and then it'll come down along the back. So you really got to kind of work it out. My friend the surgeon always said the first step is understanding medicine is knowing the anatomy. So I had a problem with my knee. I couldn't even, God, I was staying awake and it was driving me crazy. Couldn't bend down. You know, I'm a grandpa, so you got to get down there and play. And had my friend diagnose it, wanted me to get an MRI. I just fixed it myself. So I have no pain. Right now, I'd be excruciating pain, but I just fixed it. You know the anatomy. Just go ahead. We do it on a lot of things, but if it's mechanical, you can fix it. Also, I had trouble with my shoulder, and my friend, another doctor, psychiatrist, don't get surgery, and they wanted me to, get MRI and put dye in there. And it was this arm. It's like, I got to draw it. So I had physical therapy on this arm once. Yeah, he hit this. He got it real soft, and it took weeks and weeks and weeks. And boom, he nailed it. And I went, "What did you do?" And I said, "Man, that hurt." And he told me what it was. And I know where those muscles are. So I did it on this side myself. And I was just, in the shower, I get it really hot, pliable, and then I was able to get my thumb under the deltoid, over the pectoralis minor and major, all the way down to where the bicep is, right there. And then once I got it in there, one time I turned it and no more pain. So I broke it up. I don't recommend doing that, but it's my shoulder. Okay, so here we go. So I did it for my knee and did it for my shoulder. Time. Okay, this is pushing. So these lines are going like this, and they're pushing. Got to make up my own light on this because there's little shadows here. You can see, but he's using the cross contours, which I'm also using. It's coming this way, so get rid of that red. Boom. You'll still feel it, but you won't see it so much. Come back up to the top. You want to give him a small head. Base of his skull. Coming on down. Bump. C7. And work your way back down again. He's like, stop. The cola's over there. Again, if I would have done it, I would have moved it down. So in a Renaissance time, they would just do another drawing, just push it down. This was called cartooning. I'm trying to figure it out. So when you're doing, your animation, you just want to get that story. So I always ask my students, how long does it take to do a gesture in a studio to get a pose that you can use? And they're like 5 minutes, I said, what if it was like a year? You got to try to get that pose. A lot of people are going to get involved in it. Everybody's going to get their 2 cents into it. Do it again. They'll do a focus group, and they won't have the response that the studio wants, and then they'll do it again. So that one gesture could take you, shoot, could take years. So light's going on the top here, and then it's going to ski. Bam! Hit right there. So just pretend you're skiing down the body, and that's my core cast mountain, because you're hitting you hit the bump, and then you go core cast, core cast, core cast. It's really fun. I don't ski, so it doesn't matter. The light's going to come over here like this. So it's your scapula, sit muscles, supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres major, teres minor, deltoid, trapezium, triceps, brachioradialis. Rhomboids here, shadow here. cross contours. Your hamstrings, bicep femoris, semimembranosus, semitendinosus, popliteal, and gastrocnemius, which is a really stupid name for the leg. Should be in your stomach, right? Gastric? Gastroc, Sheldon. Okay, and then you have your soleus. It's like Pinocchio muscles. Just like if you pull on it, your fingers will go like that. So it's like, hey, Pinocchio! I got no strings to hold me down. I got no strings on me. See? So it's Pinocchio. He used to say, look, father, I'm real. I'm a real boy. Look, father, when I tell a lie, my nose grows. And the doctor, and then the dad would say, no, Pinocchio, if you were a real boy, when you told a lie, something else would grow. Oh, ho, 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 ho. You're so funny, father. Okay, here we go. So those are, just think of them as like Pinocchio, just pull on the strings and things move like that. You go this way. Boom, boom, boom. It's real simple. There you go. You get in there, really dig in. Break the pencil. Dig inside underneath that armpit. So this is fun. So when I'm normally just sitting here sketching, I'll just do a video. Okay. And then when I go to the Getty, I'll take photos of books and I'll share them with you. Okay. And then, of course, we have all of the Getty images. There's a student named Parker he's a genius. He's in every way. He's just the greatest person. And we had a event we did at the Getty. We just let the students go. We all went. And, it was a summer program. We all had a good time. And I gave Parker my phone. I said, go take some pictures. He came back like an hour later and go, where you been? He took photos of the entire Getty. Jeez. So we have that on the iPad also. So we have all the shows. We got Michelangelo. That's a good show. We'll draw from that. We have the latest show, the latest drawing show. I'm just going to take pictures and draw from them. But it's so weird that they're remodeling the Getty. It's so weird. But I'll go and sit in the library and study. It's just so relaxing. And then go and have lunch. I bring my own lunch. And draw the people that are just kind of walking around and then go in and draw. And then at 3:30, go have a mocha with an apple fritter. It has to be an apple fritter. It's real important. And then it's like from 3:30, around 4, a little over 4, go back into the galleries and draw. And at the end, I walk down to the car, a little exercise. And in some parts of the year, when you're walking down the hill, they've got all these trees and everything, and the light's coming through, and it's like, man, this is so great. This is so cool. So that's your plein air, Now, for me, plein air is really, really important because I don't go outside now. Outside in the back, there's a couple pools and stuff. I'll go out there occasionally, but I don't sit in the sunlight. The problem with going outside, it's got fresh air. I mean, that can hurt you. Sunshine, I mean, the glare off my body is just so dangerous. And then there's bugs. Oh, man, it's disgusting. So, you got mosquitoes. They literally sell my blood. I mean, I can see it. You go every now and then I'll be going to like, eBay and be Sheldon's blood and they're selling it. So these mosquitoes are all over me. So, but I can then paint it like it's plein air, and that's cool, and that's fun. So I do plein air. It's just I'm not out in the air. But if I open the front door and the back door of my school, and if I'm painting in there, that's plein air, right? But in the middle is all refrigerated air, and that's kind of cool because I like artificial things, artificial flavors and colors and sweeteners. It's important. Here's an ear. He's got his arm going this way. Okay. So that's when you're at the end of the day and you walk down. So I can't get bored of the Getty. And, but I had to wait to retire from the university to be able to really go because, they're closed on Monday, but now I can go on Mondays because I have my reader card, um, my ID card. But before we couldn't go on Monday; they're closed. And Friday I was teaching, and that was my priority. Um, so that was it. I only missed like 5 or 6 days out of 23 years. Some bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs. I had surgery. Next day, we did it by our phone. We didn't have Zoom at that point, and I taught the whole class the day after having surgery. So that was really important, to be able to with those kids at San Jose State University. They were my life. Those kids. Um, and I wanted them to do well. I had resources to do that. But now, because I'm retired from there, I can go to the Getty any Friday. So, 'cause Fridays are my own. Our school's closed on Friday. Monday, our school's also closed, and you can go to the Getty if you're a staff reader and go on Mondays. So I might be kind of fun. The whole museum will be closed, but the library is open. It'll be kind of fun, and maybe afterwards go do some painting. So that'd be kind of cool. Just a whole life. I want to get these core shadows in there. I'm not doing cross action. I'm doing cross contours. I'm feeling the form. I'm drawing over the muscle. Okay. We're pushing that back, but the energy is still there. See that? That's energy. And gesture is energy. Gesture is story. Doesn't matter how you put it down. Get the story down there. So we'll be doing different gestures. Doesn't matter. You can use words. You can use candy bar. You can use this is Pan Pastel. Whatever you want. It's the ghost. All right. Does that work? Yeah, it's okay. So I'll tell you a true story. I was at the Getty, and sometimes you fall asleep. Yeah, you don't remember falling asleep, and you just wake up. Oh my God, where am I? So I don't remember what time I fell asleep, but I was sleeping for a really long time. And I was at the Getty, and I looked at my watch. It was 2 in the morning. Like, holy! I am at the Getty, and it's 2 in the morning. There is nobody here but me and all these incredible paintings. It was wild. So I'm walking around, there's nobody telling me to step back, sir, don't lick the painting. You get a close look at it, step back. I'm not going to lick it. So you put your hands in your back pocket. So I'm walking around and I see this kind of it's like the air, which is like the atmosphere. And it was like this blur. It was like it's like if the air was energy, it was a break of the energy and it kind of blurred the energy and it moved. And I was looking at it, and it moved again. And it was just pure energy. And I said, "Who are you?" And he said, "It's me." Because I mostly spend my time in the revenge room, which is now closed. I go, "Is that you, Pete?" Yeah. Like, oh my God, do you realize that we use everything that you did? We use in animation. And he said, "What's animation?" I said, "I'll tell you later." I go, "This is incredible that I'm talking to you." And he goes, "Well, it's nice to finally meet you in person because, we see you in here all the time." I said, "Yeah, it's my place, Pete. And I sit there and I study your stuff. It's Pete, Peter Rubens, Peter Paul Rubens." And, we called him PP for short, but, kind of got old. And I wanted to see what he really looked like. So I looked over, not only do I work in forensics, for like blood and stuff like that, but I also have a lot of background thanks to my old business partner in fire. So I understand fire and fire patterns and of course the tools. So I went over and I looked at the fire extinguisher and you know what? I was so happy. It wasn't a water extinguisher. It was a powder one. We spray it and the powder goes out. So I took it off the wall and I said, "Hey, Pete, Pete, where are you?" And he goes, "I'm over here." And there was that, it was like, the energy, like the, the essence of the atmosphere of the room, which you can feel as an artist. You can actually feel, like I can feel the air. Like when I do music, I can touch the actual music. Like I can feel it. Like right now, I can actually feel the air. It's like right there, boom. So when he broke it, it kind of, moved like that. So I took the fire extinguisher and I went, pss, 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 and there it was. There was his silhouette. And I go, "Wow, that's you." Well, at that moment, we heard a sound, and it was the guards coming in. They caught me. So they were coming this direction, and Pete didn't want to get caught. So he went into the painting, where he belonged. But when he went into the painting, he left behind this powder substance on the painting. It probably ruined the painting, but if you think about it, they have more. And so I'm looking at that powder and I'm thinking, shoot, I got to keep this thing. So we have the energy that went in, and I took some scissors out of my bag and I was cutting the painting around the powder because that's the shape, you see. So it's scribble, you know, energy for the gesture. It's not, it doesn't exist. It's not something you can see or touch. You have to feel it. It's the story. Like the story I'm telling you right now, which is completely full of shit, but it has an energy and a realism to it because I believe it. Because I believe it. It's real. It's like religion. You believe it, so it's real. It might be full of shit, but hey, you believe it. So let's get back to the story. So I'm cutting out the the shape because I want to keep this. So now I have scribble for story and energy and life, and I got shape for design. And just as I was cutting this way, wham, handcuffs went around my wrist. And that was the form. Got that. That was the cross contour. Because when that handcuff smacked on my wrist, it went all the way around and clicked. And I went, there's form. And at that moment, I got to experience all of the aspects, all of the parts of drawing from the realest, most sincere Rubens at the greatest place in the world. You believe that? It's so fun. It's worth getting arrested over. It didn't last long. They got really good donuts. When you're in the security over there, you're handcuffed to a metal chair, which is fine. But they'll actually feed you the donuts and let you drink the coffee, so it's good. So that's it. You just keep working. So, you work on the, you work on the drawing. So it might take you, 20, 30 minutes to do the drawing and like 1,567 hours to do the edges and the halftones. Okay. All right. Let's do some more. Let's see if I can get some more of this paper. This is fun. I don't have the show anymore. Maybe I can say, hey, I'm promoting you guys. Give me more paper. All right. We'll do some more Getty soon. See you in a while. Tell Corey what you need. Okay. Corey's the boss. Talk to you later. Bye.